So in the last video, it was kind of long. Made sure I reiterated some things, and hopefully you watched that entire video because that was very crucial. Very good points in the idea of sub G Sal. We're going to keep moving forward, okay? So remember, we are set back to hear from sub G Sal. Now, we're going to talk about the punch, and this is Yaat G Chung Choi. Sometimes us teachers just call it Chung Choi, Choi Kyun, so many different names, but as it all turns out, one is a vertical punch. Two, we're using the last three knuckles. Three, when we punch, we're coming upward and we lead with the pinky and ring finger knuckles. That's what we lead with. If you look at your hand, the first knuckle, your first finger is relatively by big time degrees lower than your middle knuckle. So a lot of the karate, taekwondo, these martial arts, their knuckle, first knuckle is so low in comparison to the middle knuckle that when they punch, this is why they get boxer's fractures or karate hand, which means basically a fracture. You know, you done did the martial arts so much, and over time you done kept breaking hand because you keep doing this two finger action. In science, they tell you this. In the medical field, they tell you this. So go research that point of boxers fractures, boxing hand fractures, things like that. You'll see that the majority of the times it's always roughly around the first knuckle and your middle knuckle. Always. Okay? Now that I said that, do not take it for granted that if a boxer gets fractured around this point, it's because they don't even know how to use the last three knuckles like other martial arts, especially Wing Chun Kung Fu. That can happen too. So now that I've said all of that, we punch with the last three knuckles and we're coming more upward to go straight out. I don't want to punch, I'm not trying to punch head level necessarily, not right now. I'm not trying to punch low right now, not right now. And punching too low on a person will break your wrist. So, not trying to do that right now. We want to mainly punch straight on, okay? So, I'm going to punch from my sternum, which is right here. I have my hand set, and I'm punching outward. We actually in the form start off with our left hand punching. So I start here and I come out. I start right here, come out. Now, granted, in other schools, especially my school, I mainly start off straight arm out. They're learning how to punch all the way out. You remember in the sub G Sal, a lot of times, I don't like to punch in excess. I don't want to punch all the way out. Why do I not want to punch all the way out? There's going to be a point in all your aggression, all that energy and whatnot that you have, that when you punch all the way out, you may punch too strong and too hard, and you're going to damage muscles around the elbow joints, the shoulder joints, whatever, that then you can't even fight with it. You have a weak arm. Now, granted, Wing Chun is not about strength, but for what you have and for what you want to use with it, you definitely don't want to damage your arm from an excess punch, or what is called tennis elbow, you know, or the idea of injuring the ball socket of your shoulder. So in that case, in the form, be light about it. Understand that when they teach you, when other teachers teach you to punch out, don't punch hard. Punch with a little oomph into it, and then there you go. Okay? Granted, let me show my other side. You punch from that sternum point right here, come out. You may start it like this, you may start like this, but come from that sternum, punch out, okay? Like I said, be soft with it, but have a little pop. You can have a little pop in the end, and that's okay. It's an energy pushing technique. It's not like a lot of part of the form, which is an energy incoming kind of technique, or chi power. Some Japanese will call it ki. You know, whatever you want to call it, bringing energy in. So I'm from the sternum point and I punch out. Now, let's talk about my version and why it's different. I am a more Yaat lineage principle foundational Wing Chun teacher. However, a lot of my forms, a lot of the way I do things, not a lot, but enough, comes from Wang Xing Lung. Okay, I'm not a disciple of theirs, I'm not in their lineage, but once you learn Wing Chun in its entirety from one lineage, other lineages are often incredibly understood. Okay, I think the only lineage that seems to be the kicker, or seems to be the question mark of that, is Chu Shun Tian. Chu Shun Tian's method is incredible. They understand their anatomy and their body more than a lot of us will ever understand. And so in that case, it is what it is. But the Wang Xing Lung lineage, even though they may punch all the way out or whatever, I keep to the combat side of that way by punching short. Okay? So there are times when I like to do my form coming all the way out because of the aesthetics of it. And then there's other times when I go short and I do it that way. Does that make sense? So what am I telling you to do? Have different ways of doing your form. Don't do it in the school that you're training in. If you're just a student or disciple of your teacher, don't do that. Don't disrespect your master. Don't disrespect the Sifu. As far as it goes, if you're already learning Wing Chun, I'm not your teacher. I'm just a dude that wants to share my experiences with you and share my love for Wing Chun. Does that make sense? So there are times when I punch all the way out, and then there's times that I punch short, and I'll do the rest of my form, because two things. One, what you're going to see from me is that even if I do punch outward, I drop my elbow and I finish the form. Why? Because this elbow is protecting my ribs. The more these ribs are damaged and hurt, the more you can't breathe. So I drop my elbow, but still keep roughly to the 45 degree that I was talking about earlier with the sub-G sow. Same principle. I don't change up much. So I'm right here, Hum Sao, Wu Sao, and that's the way I'm set. So in that case, I'm teaching from the basis of, yes, if there are times when I punch all the way out, there'll be times I punch straight, I punch short, and then in that case, I do the form. And I keep it short. Does that make sense? Wing Chun is short fist. It's a short fist system. I'm extending my arm like this. When people do their forms like this, they extend their arms out as the long bridge, or the more long fist style of how they will play Wing Chun. So still, like I said, if your teacher does it that way, you do it that way. Don't disrespect your teacher. Don't disrespect the past, the history of your skill. But also at the same time, do not sell yourself short of not opening to a new idea or new experiences. You can always go back to the teacher and say, what do you think about this? And give some insight on what you saw and go from there. Trust me, your teachers will be proud of that.